Welcome to the Love, Sex and Freedom podcast. This is where you're going to discover how to bring awakening into the body and into everyday life through powerful tantric teachings. Get ready to release, open and step into your true power.
The depth to which you want to go is really ought to dictate where you go from here. And, you know, there is a place of dedicating yourself to a container for a year. I know some of you are thinking of doing the practitioner training, where you're getting to dive into the practices that keep bringing you more and more into your wholeness, into your authenticity, and supporting others to do the same. And when you actually step into service, there's so much energy towards the inner work that becomes available that is exponentially bigger than you've ever felt before. And then, you know, the online courses are helping you with the emotional mastery, with feeling into your boundaries, your desires, your yeses, your no, your inner union, and all of the online courses and programs. And then there's private work. So, and it may not be with us that your work continues. I'm definitely not attached to that. But what I want you to feel is a trust in whatever your soul is calling you into. A deep trust in that. And the best investment you can make is into yourself, always. And, you know, putting money into coaching, putting money into mentoring has always been my number one spend. Before I became a teacher, I attended everything you can possibly imagine, from the field of personal development to tantra. From the time I was very small, exposed to it through my dad, and he'd take us to all these talks and weekends, and then consciously on my own from 18 to 33 when I started teaching. I don't know how many freaking retreats and learnings and courses I undertook, more than you can imagine, because there was so much unraveling to get to my authenticity. There was so much unraveling for me to be able to be in the bedroom and totally present with the experience of pleasure that I was capable of feeling. There was so much unraveling before I trusted the current of spirit to move through me. And there was a big purification process, a purification of the stuck energy and the trauma, so that I could be empty enough, so that I could feel my desire. A purification that took the protection away that's there in the first place of why I'm dissociated, so I could come back into my body. There has to be a purification process. There's no way around that. And that purification process only happens through a commitment to the inner work that is supported in a safe container. And what you need, maybe it's just the safe container of an 8-week journey. Maybe it's just Tantra transformation and you want a bundle of different resources. Maybe it's just Tantra 101, the free 8-day journey. Feel into what it is for you, but know that when you're in a sacred container that is supported by someone who has spent a long time dedicated to what it is that you're embodying, that you are held in a whole new way. When there's sisters and tribe who you're connecting with, when your life becomes devoted to the inner work of purifying what isn't you, what isn't your natural essence, what isn't your alignment, and then stepping forth into what is, that's the difference that makes the difference. That when you're lying on your deathbed, that you've already died so many times. And so, closing down your eyes again. And I want you to just check out, am I willing to die? Am I willing to let my identity die? And all the patterns that I've relied on, and all the safety mechanisms. Am I ready to step into the mystery? Am I ready to birth into a new way of being, where my allegiance and my devotion is to my womb, to my body, to my feelings, to my heart, beyond the story, My allegiance and devotion is to a silence that is not meeting anything with resistance or finding control mechanisms, just feeling, trusting. Can this be the birth of my authentic embodiment of my journey from suppression to expression? That this is what I trust, that this is what I allow to express through me. And just put out there right now, whatever it is that's going to purify and unwind everything that's stopping the full death of the old me that has an allegiance and devotion to the mind and the stories. May that come to me. Just say prayer. May whatever I need to hold me in that come to me. And you can actually ask your womb now and your soul now, what is my next step? What is my next step when I'm ready to let my identity die and all the stories and all the conditioning and control mechanisms? And I'm stepping into the 5% of the population, if we're lucky, whose allegiance and devotion is with the body, with the felt sense, with the truth of being. What's the most supportive environment for that? Because you need support. The matrix is strong, the anti-life. The strongest resonance in modern Western culture is living in the mind and in avoidance. To come into 5% of the population, you need support. What is that? Ask that question. What do you need to finally fully commit, to not just talk about it or listen to people talking about it, and to stay in your mind and keep trying, striving, thinking of ways to be more embodied, to be more expressed, to be more authentic, to feel more worthy, to let go of fear and not being good enough. Fuck all of that. It's all us. Sometimes we feel not good enough. That's okay. Sometimes we're afraid. And most of the time, what I'm seeding into your life now is a feeling of, I have a right to be me. It is my birthright to be myself. I am a worthy human being. I am a good woman. My needs matter. My yes matters. My no matters. And my transparency is what creates a meeting of souls between me and anyone. A transparency that's not, oh, I was being authentic and he did this and this and couldn't hold me. You weren't being fucking authentic. You were in the mind probably blaming and shaming him or trying to control him or put him in some kind of sphere that makes you feel worthy or better about yourself. Free everyone. Free yourself by going, my only job as someone who is on the path of embodied awakening, of someone who is authentic now and not trying to become authentic, my job of someone who is allowing my desires, my joy, my service to be here now, and there's no conditions on it. My job is to be at one, to be in at one-ment, to live in a consistent state of atonement where the identity is dying and I'm asking myself the only question that matters, what is here now? In the deeper resonance of my being, of my inner truth. And we breathe into that. And it's met with the silent mind of non-resistance, that what you feel is valid. And you have a right to be there, no matter what it is. Here we are. Here we are. Can we let die the part of us that is still fucking trying? Stop trying. You are already an authentic woman if you choose to just fucking be here now and let go of all the stories. This alignment with who you really are, this breathing into who you really are and expressing that is the greatest healing that you will ever experience. Because all it is a washing away of whatever isn't your authentic essence. We're not trying to become anything. We're just purifying what isn't us. When the flame of your heart is given the freedom to burn in the brightness of your uniqueness without any dependency on being validated or loved by anything external to you, you are no longer a princess waiting for something. You are a queen who knows the power of atonement, who knows the power of letting anything die that is not the truth, of loving what's arising. You love everything that arises. Your doubt, your fear, your resentment, your regret, it is all safe to feel. And it is safe to feel good and to not question your desires when the intention is not to escape or to suppress even more, but the intention is to feel good, is to align with joy and service and pleasure. How many spiritual traditions say it's safe to feel good, to follow what your unique desires are as a spiritual path? Because guess what? Just like we have a window of tolerance and a limit, that is very true as to how much pain we can feel in certain situations. We have the same thing with pleasure. And as our tolerance grows for pain, it also grows for pleasure. So how much pleasure do you allow yourself when you're making love? How much pleasure do you allow yourself in your everyday life? How much pleasure do you allow yourself in your relationships? Let's all take a vow today. Let's all take a vow to stop and breathe and feel the pleasure of what is here now fully, and to notice when we hit our window of tolerance and go, you know what, I'm going to feel more. I'm going to feel more. And if it gets too much, of course, stop. But the window of tolerance, when we're conscious with it, seems to be able to expand a lot more than anything. Because pleasure is in, it's you know, our natural inclination as humans is to go for bliss. So can we just keep expanding into even more bliss? And can we keep coming in and dedicating ourselves to the practices that bring us into the body to feel that? Are we willing to let the old identity that lives in the mind and has a cap on how much bliss we feel to die? Are we ready to let birth someone who's like, give it to me? I am ready to receive all the bliss that relationship, service, life, and my home has to offer me. And I know that when I'm so full with all of that, what is flowing out of me is true and infused with what I'm supporting others to expand into just through my presence, just through my presence. Because when someone is vibrating at that level, you can't help but notice them. It's like, what does she do? What is she doing? Who is she? And what's the difference between her and anyone else? She's not thinking about it. She's just being it. She's not thinking about how people are responding or what's happening external to her. Or in the story, it's just here I am and here this is from moment to moment. Okay, it's 10 o'clock and I would love to hear any burning questions, and I would also love to spend more time with you all. I think that every time I do a program, which hasn't been very often, or short weekends, the same answer comes up for me, which is it's not in my ultimate. I thought I'd do it again, and I've loved being with you all, and this is amazing. And I also feel this place of like, I don't want to let you go just yet. There's so much more. And so I want you to really follow the soul calling of whatever else you feel drawn into and how we can support you. Or if you're feeling someone completely different to me, or there's something out there and you want to run it by me and go, what do you think of this? There's other amazing things out there that you might be in resonance with. So really just know that you do need support on this journey, that this is the journey of the minority. And it's hard not to get drawn back into the matrix and the conditioning of however old you are, the 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 20 years. And when you have someone just showing you your blind spots, mirroring things, supporting you into practices, it's fucking amazing. It's like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Love, Sex and Freedom podcast. For more great free resources, in-person and online workshops, and our retreats, find us on Instagram and Facebook at Embodied Awakening Academy, or visit embodiedawakeningacademy.com.